assuming, I know he's muted. I'm just assuming that he is in and listening. Chang, are you?
Yes, I am listening.
Okay, cool.
Looking at basketball stuff.
Sorry, what's that?
Just looking at basketball stuff.
Nice. Do you play basketball or just a watcher?
I used to play when I was younger, but I'm just watching. There's big news, last night with the New York Knicks. But I won't get into it. Big news. Good
Big
stuff.
news. Now you have to tell us.
No, our star players just signed an extension at a very, very much lower rate,
Oh,
which frees up money because we kind of overspent getting other players. But now, because he did that, we can keep a lot of the players, and
that's really cool.
we have a real shot at the championship next season.
What, against LeBron and LeBron Jr.?
Okay, the Lakers are not. The Lakers are not getting in the Western Conference Finals. I'll tell you that much. They ain't shit. LeBron could put up. He could still put up 30 points a game. It ain't gonna change shit because he's gonna have to carry, 4 other sorry asses on that court.
That we weren't getting into.
Not wrong.
Kirsty made me get into it. Anyways, we haven't won one since '73, and next season is a serious. Like the next couple of years is serious contention. When I mean '73, I mean 1973.
So you sound like a Maple Leafs fan. We haven't won since '62, but this is the year.
Yeah, but that's not cool. This is like we have genuine all-star players. We have an all-star roster. It's crazy.
This is really the year.
Anyways,
for sure, that's definitely it.
Okay, between a rock and a hard place. I'm just gonna read this. It's really long. I will paraphrase. We resume the desert with all of our star gems, and now all we can do is follow the palm symbol to Martek's tomb. Hopefully getting the weapon at the tomb will be the end of this whole debacle. Wei is in high spirits. He met the founder of his order and succeeded where no one else has. Adriel sees the final stretch coming up and is looking forward to going back to his tribe. Lunar is optimistic that they'll be through this soon and she'll be able to settle down in the Lost City, hopefully with Pandora, ? Magnus is catastrophizing? Catastrophizing? Is that how you say that?
Catastrophizing?
Thank you. Yes. I knew you'd fix that word for me. Thank you, Chang.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Worried that everything has gone far too well for our own good and we're being funneled into a trap. Adriel feels stronger returning from the Sky Sea now that he has Madura and Usmagaris with him. It seems like he can feel the projecting feelings that come along with the prayers of his faithful. The bulk of the prayers seem to be coming from Senedicia, but there are other prayers coming from all over the region. The majority of the feelings he's feeling are fear, anxiety, and worry. It definitely seems like something bad is happening to his people. The reply from Pandora comes through Magnus, stating that Calatharius has come to Senedicia. In short, this news breaks Lunara. We discuss as we travel where to head next and how we, now that we know how dire the situation has gotten. Lunara sends another message back to Pandora. Resolved, we head off into the desert to find the weapon. We decide to abandon the cart to make our progress easier, focusing on using the boat, leaving anything particularly heavy, and setting the camels free. As we're traveling one evening just after dark, some creatures appear out of the clouds, making shrieking sounds. It seems to be a group of 2 Abishai and 2 Vrock. Their initial scream stuns Magnus. Wei pounds the Vrock Doomslayer into a bloody mess on the ground. One of the Abishai is shredded by spirit guardians, and the other is obliterated by lightning, and the final Vrock is perforated by Lunara, letting out all of her pent-up rage and frustration. After the fight, the Vrock Doomslayer is puppeted by Calatharius and delivers us a message. Little creatures, do you really think you can stop me? Even with those star gems, you will not succeed. Lunar releases a bit more of her rage in reply, reminding Calatharius that he clearly thinks we can succeed, otherwise he wouldn't be sending his minions after us. Continue on for 7 more days. Avoiding patrolling packs of demons. and finally arrive at another ruin in the sand, which has 3 crystal pillars arranged on points in a hexagon. Inscriptions in the ancient tongue adorn them, and there's a platform at the center with a circle of gray at the center middle. There were some inscriptions on them. You guys tried to hit each of the crystals in unison to try and make them sound and see if there's any effect. You tried it gently at first and then realized that you had to do it with a loud thump. And when you did so, the resonance crystal renaissance made the crystal city appear in the sky. A pillar of light from the citadel encompasses Adriel, who is standing at the center, and teleports him. You guys all followed afterwards, and you found yourselves in sort of like a jungle in the sky, basically. You walked through it for a while, struggling to get through the jungle, using your short swords to hack your way through. And Wei scouted ahead. He encountered a boy. His name is Sardok. Wei got the boy to lead him to a village, and you met Village Master Bandik and learned that there's a ritual you're supposed to complete here, including ringing a gong. Wei is understandably upset about us being eaten as part of this ritual, and the village of the youth cut the rest of you a path to get to the village, and meanwhile Wei is shown the dais of reception where the ritual will take place, and the village master hits the gong. Their wise man, called Trificus, takes a shine to Lunara as we arrive, and the village sets out a feast in your honor. And Nick, I see you're with us. Can you speak?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay, there we go. Fucking thing. Yeah,
Sorry,
apologies for this. I've been relegated to my bedroom instead of the office because we have people coming over this afternoon.
Oh, so you're... I hate it when I have to change my setup because, like, then you have to change your setup and nothing ever works properly.
Yeah, so I just had to go for the backup option of phone and tablet. So I apologise if I'm a little slow getting stuff sorted. I also can't take notes, but I will take notes from the VOD between sessions.
Oh wow, look at you and your dedication. Awesome. Thank you.
I always watch the VOD back afterwards anyway, so I might as well take notes this time.
You know what? I've been watching it back while I prep for the next game, and it's super helpful because I remember what's happening, and also it's good fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So yeah, Seb, thank you for streaming it. It is
it's appreciated.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which, am I watching you on Twitch? Yes, I am. Okay. Okay, so here we are at the jungle village. I found a map that kind of works, so we'll go with this one.
Pretty.
Yeah, right. And yeah, you guys had been greeted by the people that live here, and they seem to be a friendly enough bunch. You are definitely watched as you move through the village. People are sort of staring at you. There's some whispering going on. People are sort of jostling to get a bit closer to you. In fact, by the time you get to sort of the more central area of the village, you're kind of surrounded by these people, and they're getting a little bit close. You know, they're reaching out to like touch your hair and your clothing because you look so different. So I guess my first question is, how do you guys react to that as people are coming forward, children and adults alike, sort of just reaching out just to just touch you, kind of?
The Nara would not be particularly enthused by the prospect. She would be kind of trying to avoid being touched and trying to get the message across that she does not wish to be touched.
So if your discomfort is sort of evident, people will probably not try and touch you as much. You know, they'll kind of like reach out their hand and then realize you don't like it and kind of pull back.
Gorm is the opposite.
Awesome.
He has his hands outstretched as they try to touch him, and he touches them back, and he gives little blessings to them. Like, Gorm be with you. Gorm blesses you.
Um, they seem to sort of like acknowledge your blessings. Some of them like hold on to bits of your clothing, you know, like it's what is this strange material it's made from kind of idea. Um, and when you say the name Gorm, they seem to recognize that. It seems to be a god that is familiar to them. Although you don't sense any of your worshippers here.
Hmm.
But you do see that they recognize the name. So it's possible that you are worshipped here, just not necessarily in this village.
Okay.
I don't think Magnus really respond one way or the other. He's sort of indifferent. He's just going to keep moving forward. But he does spend a lot of time, like, every person who walks up, he gives a quick scan looking for any sort of threat potential.
Sure. Can you make me a perception check, please?
Sure, probably help if I had a character sheet open, wouldn't it? Sorry, it's just loading. There we go.
Yeah, no worries.
Perception.
Um, Magnus, you notice that all of this reaching out and touching isn't necessarily all in wonder.
Are they swiping stuff from us?
Some of them seem to be trying to swipe stuff from you.
I think the first time it happens, I'll just grab who's ever's trying to do it wrist and go, I wouldn't do that.
They as soon as they're caught, they sort of like laugh and back off, and everyone kind of laughs around with them, like it's a joke almost.
And while he said that, then I'll check my stuff to see if anything was
Yeah, Adriel, you notice
same.
you're light a few coins, not a ton,
Okay.
but you're light a few coins.
Yeah, Lunara will check as well.
Lunar, you were a little bit more hands-offy with them, and no one managed to succeed in lifting anything from you.
Good stuff.
Wei, you didn't really say if you were you allowing them to touch you, or were you sort of shying away?
I say looking's for free, touching's going to cost you. Right? Answer yourselves.
You still when
Naughty.
when you notice that Magnus is checking for things, you actually are missing a diamond, a 300 GP diamond.
Okay.
They rolled really well on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm not one for material possessions. But, like, well, can I do a perception check?
Yeah.
It'll be pretty tough for the crowd, but I'll try. No, I no longer. It's gone.
It's
That
gone.
is
You had
gone.
no idea who's got it. That was one of your resurrection diamonds, I think. I think that was why you
Say,
had it.
better not die, because there goes your diamond.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah, don't let them touch me.
Okay. Yes, you guys are a little bit more standoffish when you realize what these people are like. In general, the people here they're dressed almost like, no, not almost like, they're dressed like stereotypical thieves. In a lot of ways. They're wearing dark clothing that sort of blends in with the jungle, which, you know, you could just think they hunt or whatever and they need to blend into the jungle. But you also notice that they've all got like sort of like neckerchiefs that they can pull up over their faces so that their face can't be seen. They've all got like hoods that they can pull up so that their faces can't be recognized. Even though it's warm, they've all got, they're not necessarily wearing them, but they all have like gloves. And you kind of realize that you've stumbled into a village of thieves. Lunara, you would notice with your history check with your history check, with your history proficiency. There are sort of symbols all around here, and you recognize these symbols as being just like worships to Mask, the god of thievery.
Mhm.
Anyone here speak Thieves' Cant?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, so Magnus, you notice that there is some Thieves' Cant going on in the background. And weirdly, it's almost used as much as their regular language. And you see that there are a lot of thieves' signs on doors and on walls and places. Just unlike where, like in a city, it would be like, you could sell your stolen goods in this particular store and there'd be a thieves' mark on it. This is like Wendy's house, Bob's Garden.
Yeah, I will keep the fact that I can speak it to myself for now, and I'm just going to try to eavesdrop.
Okay. Give me a perception check, please. Yeah, Magnus. So you hear some people, or you hear a lot of people talking in Thieves' Cant as they're talking, and it almost seems to be like the language here. A lot of what people are saying is very similar to what they're saying in Synodacian, which is cool, there are strangers here. It's really neat to see them. Wonder what they're doing here. Do you think they'll succeed? They can't possibly have the gems. That's amazing. Maybe they're the ones who are going to open the doors. You hear a lot of talk about the doors. They might be the ones to open the doors. You also overhear them talking about, they seem to call themselves guildies. That seems to be the name that they call themselves. I'll put that in chat. And they talk about the plantain and how maybe these new strangers can help them with the plantain.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
sorry, palatine.
the first time that it seems casual enough, I will question somebody. Like, that's an odd dialect you're speaking. What is it you guys speak here other than common?
Um, you talked to the young boy who you spoke with before, Sardok, the one that led way here, and Sardok says that's we only have one language.
What they're saying makes no sense. I mean, this one's talking about weather, saying expecting rain, but it is a beautiful sunny day.
Oh, it's the under language. It's still the same language. It's just under.
Makes sense.
Okay. I will admit it is putting me on edge. I prefer to understand what people are saying around me.
You don't understand?
No, I'm sorry.
But you speak our language.
Yes, I speak common. However, I don't understand. I cannot wrap my head around what these people are saying. What they're saying seems to be almost gibberish.
He like all of a sudden you see a light bulb kind of go on behind his eyes and he says, "Oh, sorry. We'll make it easy."
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Magnus, he doesn't seem to understand that he is speaking another language. To him, you get the idea that this is all just one language.
It's
And
not nefarious or meant to be nefarious or even to hide information. That's how they speak.
yeah,
Okay. That's kind of what I was looking for.
yeah. And so the rest of you would probably notice that sometimes they have these kind of like random side conversations. I don't know if you've been around Thieves' Cant, you might understand that there's a possibility that it's being spoken. I'll leave that up to you guys to determine. Um, but you know, you wouldn't understand what's being said.
I would have no idea.
Likewise, Lunara. Like, she's heard of it, but she doesn't know what it is. She just got the same idea as Magnus, that they're saying gibberish along with their regular things. She's a little baffled at this.
Okay.
I'd say Wei would know, but because he's been around these people before in his past life, but he never bothered to actually learn the language because I forgot to take it in the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah, okay, cool. So Wei, you would probably be aware that it's being spoken, much like, you know, when we hear like another language being spoken, we can kind of go like, oh, that sounds like Russian, but I don't speak Russian. I have no idea what's being said. So that's kind of the vibe that you have right now. You would understand that it's being spoken, but you don't know what's being said in it.
I could probably catch like a phrase or two
Yeah.
here and there, maybe. Just remembering from all those years ago.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Just like a word here and there and a phrase and
Uh,
um and you also you don't with the phrases and the words that you hear, you don't pick up anything nefarious. Um it's very similar conversations to what you're hearing in the common tongue. So it's odd to say the least, but there it is.
I'm gonna catch it to Magnus real quick and give myself a quick pat down. Yeah, it took me diamond, mate.
Oh, well, lovely. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised.
Right. We're going to address. We're going to address the village.
Well, let's see how this feast goes. If they try to serve us up, maybe we'll retrieve it a different way.
Right, feast. Right. I make sure to address everyone there. Find the thief.
In the meantime, keep your eyes open for anything you want and can maybe just swipe.
Oh
Because
no,
I have a
mate,
sneaking
no.
suspicion that's how this village works.
Oh no, me nicking days are over. Long over.
I'm just saying, if you see somebody walking around with a pair of gorgeous diamond earrings worth about 300 GP,
I'll just ask for it back. Nicely. If they don't give it back, I might have to take it back. Aggressively. Aggressively. Obviously. Been pretty quiet. Maybe louder.
Okay, so as you guys are sort of walking through, you've got a little bit of time to explore the village as dinner is being prepared, the feast is being prepared. And you're sort of left to your own devices a little bit. Oh, why can I never remember his name? Sartek?
Sardok?
Sardok, thank you. I need to write this in chat so I remember it. Sardok. Sardok is sort of happy to kind of show you around a little bit, and he sort of shows you some of the, you know, major places in the village. Um, First of all, he takes you to where are we here? So you've seen the dais of reception, this big platform, and he tells you that you know this is going to be the place where we'll have the reception and bring Grandal to you, and maybe you'll be the ones to open the doors.
sorry, quick reminder, who was Grandal? What
Oh,
is
Grandal's
Grandal?
not a who. Grandal's a what?
Perfect. What is Grandal?
Great big building.
Okay, that's not where I thought that was going to go.
Yeah, it's a great big building. And lots of doors. Lots and lots of doors.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Much
Oh,
better.
that's good.
There we go. Sorry, I managed to get a very old laptop working with Discord, so that'll have to do.
Oh, hooray. Yeah, you're a lot clearer now anyway, so.
Wait,
So
hold
better.
on a minute. Hold on a minute. So you mean to tell me that all of you have got sticky fingers, but never opened a bloody door?
Can't? They're not locked. Can't pick a lock if it's not locked.
Have you tried pushing instead of pulling?
They don't have handles or push places.
How do you know it's a door if it doesn't have handles?
Can you not push the door open? What? That's,
'Cause
that's, a, that's a wall, mate.
That's
This
That's what-
is
the saying says.
very
Um,
strange.
He's gonna start to quote here. If I can find it. Oh my goodness, it's oi. Gilders. Sorry, I had to scroll back up to the Gilders because God forbid they put anything in the same place in this.
I mean, Wizards has never been good at organizing books. So.
I know, and I've got like a PDF that isn't even I can't even search it by word, like it's just an image. There was no OCR done. So this is what he says. He starts telling a story and he starts speaking as though by rote. This is something he's clearly learned since he was a little kid. And he says, at the beginning of time, there were two peoples, the Guilders, and he kind of like smiles and points at himself, and the Mad Dogs. The Mad Dogs were terrible and powerful in battle, slaying the holy Guilders and preventing them from their sacred steelies. One day, the Master Gilder told his people that they must travel to the world of Martik and work to be so worthy of entering the Grandal. So now we live in the world of Martik, at the very gates of Grandal. And when the time comes, the gates shall be opened and we will fulfill our destiny. The greatest steely of all eternity shall be completed, and the Guilders will be admitted into the grace of the Master Gilder.
There's an H in that word.
What?
Grand Hall. You pronounce the H.
No, it's Grendel.
Sure it is. So why is it as soon as you get visitors who are supposed to help you guys open this Grandal, you immediately start with the Steelies on the visitors? Maybe those visitors have important things that they need with them in order to get you into the Grandal.
Oh, that's Steely's. I thought they were talking about metal.
Everybody does steelies.
Quite
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah, I mean to talk to you about that. Yeah, someone gave me a Steely, one of me diamonds.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very important.
Where we're from, stealing from people is considered very rude. In my society, I would be very entitled to just destroy your village right now. And
Well,
Lunar
he's
kind of like just
acceptable.
crackles from electricity from her
Right,
from her
hold
fingers.
on, love. Hold on, love. Let's
How do you
not-
worship Master Gilder?
Right.
Where we're from, if somebody tells you, I'm going to try to steal from you, and then manages to actually steal from you, then it's acceptable. You got to give the person a heads up, otherwise it's not a real challenge.
I don't think Master Gilder would like that.
Don't care.
Right, how about this? You find me the person who stole me diamond, and I'll exchange it for something else. I see, because I've got something. I've got a few other things, right? I have a sapphire. I also have a small collection. I have a collection of smaller gems as well. Yeah,
He-
nice.
Telling them
He
that you're
looks at
carrying a bunch
you?
of gems around on you.
And
I-
he says, exchange.
As in, that person gives me my diamond back. I give them this in return.
Why would you do that? Just stealies it back.
I don't know who steals.
What I say. Look for somebody with 300 GP diamond earrings. It's fine.
I don't know who's stealing my steel. My
Oh, want me to
diamond.
steal it back for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll give him. I'll give him my sapphire. I don't have to use for it.
He like looks at you like you're crazy, and he says, "Keep that. Why are you handing it to me?
It's
That's yours.
It's payment. Do you...
Payment."
All right, fine. Yeah, steal is it back for me. Yeah.
Hey.
Apparently, reward. There's a lost concept on these people.
Hmm.
Well,
Don't really like the fact that we're going to open this grand hall and they're going to steal
nah,
these from it.
mate. It's a Grandel.
Sorry, the Grandel. And
The
they're going
Grundle?
to steal ease from it and hopefully not be steal easing the thing that we came here for. Otherwise,
be
we're
honest,
going to be introduced to a new word, which is genocide.
On the plus side, if there are traps between us and the thing we're looking for, and these idiots, she kind of gestures around the entire place, decide to run in on their grand theft expedition, they'll find our traps for us.
Well, hold on. Let's not call them idiots. They're just they've
I
got
mean-
sticky fingers. That's all.
I mean, still gonna.
They've got sticky fingers, love. It's a compulsion. What's it called? Okay.
Kleptomania.
Yeah. What's
Emphasis on the
that?
mania.
Yes. That's just how
Anyways,
they operate.
if he's gone off to stealies that thing back and we find ourselves sort of alone, Magnus will just turn to everybody like, they speak thieves' cant, but they don't realize that's what they're speaking.
Yeah, well then I assume they worship some thieving god or goddess.
I mean, yeah, it was Mask were the symbols I'd seen before. One of the
Ah.
old gods of theft.
I grew up in Baldur's Gate. I haven't seen this much thievery since I haven't seen this much thievery ever.
I was going to say, shouldn't this like be comforting for you? She says, not knowing much about Baldur's Gate aside from.
All right, hold on a minute. There was a lot of crime, but not that much. All right,
Okay,
you're not even from around here.
I'm distinctly not from around here.
In fact, never mind. You're not from around here. You have to be there to be in the know.
I don't think I will go there. Thank you.
You're really not selling me on visiting Baldur's Gate.
He's not. He's really
If you
not.
don't want to listen. If you don't want to come, then don't come. We don't need you outsiders, you out of towners, ruining our fair city, anyways.
Yeah. Why have us do it when you can do it for yourself?
So at this point, it looks as though you've got a little bit more time if you want to explore around the area a little bit more, or we can fast forward to the feast.
Is there anything we want to learn about these people before we commit to banquet?
There isn't really much. The banquet will teach us further, if anything.
Yeah, Lunara's probably just going to kind of let Quoth kind of watch from an above view, like focus her senses through Quoth to see what people are doing, kind of observe what's happening.
Okay. Can I get a perception check, please, from you/Quoth?
Okay. Which would you prefer, me or Quoth?
Whichever is looking. So I guess that would be you.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking through his eyes. So let's do a perception. Normal.
And you have, don't you get you get bonuses when he's.
I only get bonuses when he's on my shoulder.
I see.
I was using him to like fly over the top of me,
high.
basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Ooh, not great. I do have a pretty high passive perception, but 15
You rolled a
passive.
24.
Oh, okay, rolled it twice. Cool. Or then you saw the second one, and then it saw the
Oh.
first one.
I see. Yeah, you're fine. Um, so a couple of things. First of all, it's they seem to be sort of like bringing out tables. It seems as though this feast is going to be outdoors. It's a nice evening. There's no rain. Why wouldn't they? There's fires being lit and there's like things being cooked over the fires. People seem to be going about their day quite happily preparing for this feast. It seems like it's an impromptu holiday that all of a sudden everyone gets.
Mm.
Um, Again, you notice and Quoth would see just people are just stealing from each other all the time.
Hmm.
Like, and if someone gets caught, it's kind of like a laugh and a joke, and the item gets handed back. No one seems to take it personally. But at the same time, you definitely get the feeling that it's not group property, but it's just like, well, if it's stolen, it's stolen, and if you do it well, then you deserve it. So it's a little bit of an odd attitude. The other thing, because Quoth, I assume Quoth is sort of up and flying above and kind of looking down on all of this.
Yeah.
So Quoth sees a couple of things. Out in the jungle, there is an overgrown pillar that is not too far from the village. It's just maybe like just outside of the village boundaries. And it's like an obelisk type thing, and it is sort of covered in vines and things, and it's half knocked down. It's sort of like, leaning quite severely. It seems to be the remnants of something.
Okay.
There is also a um, sort of like a pool with some like greenery around it. There's plants and fish and all kinds of things in it. So that seems to be sort of a source of some of the, items that the people here use to survive. And the other thing that Quoth sees is some people sort of peering through the trees, watching what's going on in the village. These people they don't seem to be villagers. They are dressed very differently. They're wearing armor. In this case, it would be like a studded leather armor that is sort of like a colored dark to sort of match in with the trees. They've got some pretty decent weaponry on them, and they're kind of just like peering and looking.
Lunara will kind of like probably be standing with like her hand on Magnus's shoulder just to steady her, because she's not got her vision presently, and we'll just whisper to Magnus. It seems like we're being watched from the trees. There's some pretty well-armed people. There's also a very interesting monolith that I'm just going to go and have a closer look at. So bear with me 1 second, and she'll send Quoth over to just kind of land and just have a little look at it.
Sure. Quoth goes over. Magnus, first of all, you're cool with that. You're cool with her kind of hanging on to you and.
Oh yeah. All that will happen is when she mentions the other people, he probably just quietly mutters the word "mad dogs."
Unfortunately, I think she's deaf. So at this point, I think her entire senses are through Quoth. Actually, no, she probably would to talk to you. She would bring her senses back to normal. So yeah, should say. I mean, it's possible. They are the rivals of these people. It's potentially possible they're watching to see what happens. And then, as she sends Quoth away, she'll bring her senses back to Quoth. So she is now deaf and blind.
Do her eyes go black, white, or anything like that?
Yeah, they probably do go black. They probably
Black,
do
that's what I
like they're like a pool of water filling with ink.
Mm,
They just kind of, if you're looking closely enough, they just kind of black over.
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, good shout. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that is a nice.
Yeah, nice touch.
Yeah.
So you send Quoth over to to take a look at this obelisk. It is, as I said, it's pretty heavily covered in vines. There are shrubs and stuff around it. It seems as though it was here and has kind of been forgotten. Quoth can see some writing on it, but it's really covered by the vines and things. You'd probably need someone with a little bit more hands than Quoth has
Sure. Yeah.
to kind of pull this stuff off. But through his eyes, you can make out the very faint words "starstones."
Ooh. Okay. Before Quoth gets close, he would just make sure there's none of the people like watching from like the armed people near the stone. Obviously, I'm
No,
not
they're
going to
not
send
near
Quoth
there.
over if there's bad guys nearby. But okay. Bring senses back to Magnus and say, the pillar has something about starstones on it. It's very covered in vines and more effort to clear than a raven can handle. But seems like it could be interesting information. Might give us a head start on whatever it is we're going to encounter here.
Well, do we want to take the initiative and go check it out ourselves? Do we want to ask Sardok if he has any insight?
I
Maybe
feel
we
like
wanna ask him,
this.
like, how long have you guys been here?
I feel like we just go. I feel like this is not a place where you ask permission to do things. You do the thing and then you get you apologize afterwards if it wasn't what they wanted you to do.
All right. I mean, I'm fine with that. Gang, what's the group decide?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last sentence there. What did you say, Chris?
I was just asking the gang what we wanted to do. I mean, Magnus is fine with that.
Yeah, I am.
If it comes
All
down
right.
to it, who are we siding with? Are we siding with the Mad Dogs or are we siding with the thieves?
I don't even know what a mad dog is.
I don't know. It sounds like there was some kind of guard or
Yeah, somebody
something.
who likes law and order.
Yeah, some kind of law and order thing. Can I do some kind of history check to see if I know anything relevant to this to this history, to this story they've given me to make some more sense of it?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay. Normal history. Please don't roll twice. That was deception.
It sure was. Too bad
I
it's such a
lied.
good
I
roll.
lied about history really well. It's a -3 on that for history.
Okay. So that'll be 23, which is still a
Yeah.
very good roll. What would you know? I mean, this is pretty obscure knowledge, but I'm going to give you something because of how high you rolled. So, what you know Sorry, bear with me a second.
Oh, no problem.
So, you remember reading something in just like an offhand sort of paragraph in a book many years ago, that was about the life and death of Martek. And you remember something about some people went to settle in a new city and never returned.
Okay.
You would also know that the people who went were members of guilds of some form or another.
Okay.
And so these people in these guilds went to sort of start this new city and basically disappeared off the face of the planet. There's no word of them since. It was such a throwaway when you read it that you sort of assume that they all died on the road as they were traveling there, which was often happened. It was very,
Yeah.
very dangerous traveling back in those days.
Much
Okay.
safer these days with, only half as many dragons flying around.
Yeah, and only like one demon. It's almost refreshing. Okay. So yeah, I'll kind of relay a little bit of that and say, it seems like maybe the Mad Dogs, whatever that word is, morphed itself from some kind of mercenary or police force or something. Enforcers of some description.
Not the Maduarai, are they?
Possible. That's an interesting. It's an interesting connection. Like it seemed like they were more sort of like civic guilds rather than religious guilds, from what I'm getting from you, Kirsty. Would that be a reasonable?
At the time, it could have been religious as well.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's a theory. It's
Oh.
as good a theory as anything I've seen in history books, and I mean, I
Well,
saw literally a paragraph about this.
then we'll just have to check whether or not they're all ladies.
Yeah, we can check, I guess. Did I get any idea of the genders of the people standing around?
Yeah, so there were two that you saw from the trees. One was male, one was female.
Okay, so at the moment 50-50 male female.
Oh, well, I guess they're all inclusive now.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't just a holy order of all females is going to have to get in some more stock from somewhere. So
All right, so we're gonna go bushwhack and check out this pillar.
yeah, let's go have a look at the pillar.
All right. So you guys head outside of the village towards the pillar. It's not very far away. And thanks to the scouting of Quoth, you have no problem finding it. And when you get to it, it certainly is probably easier to see from the air than it is from the ground. But once you get there and you find it, there's no mistaking it. It is definitely an obelisk. It reminds you a lot of the obelisks that you saw in the desert that were signposts, if you will, except this one is a bit bigger and has more writing on it. But same style. So you get the idea that probably made around the same time, probably made by the same people or people with similar architectural styles, that kind of thing.
Okay. I suggest we try and carefully take the growth from it so we can get the best read we can from the inscription. This could be useful.
Let me check my spells. I don't know if I have blight or not. If I do, I don't have it prepared. So
No problem. I think it's fairly easy enough for you to sort of take and just sort of rip off these vines. I don't know if you've ever ripped vines off a wall. It's super satisfying.
Mm.
They're stuck, but you can just sort of give them a good yank. And there's some larger vines that have grown up that are a bit more woody that you might need to use, like those short swords you've been hacking away. They're going to be so dull by the time you're through this. But you can hack them away with that a little bit and clear it off enough to read the inscription. The inscription is quite faint, but it is legible, and you would all recognize it as your favorite language, Ancient Cynodexian. And I will put it in our group chat as well, this screenshot, but I will also read it just for the sake of you hearing it. And it says, "The day shall come when men of valor enter this garden and bring with them the great starstones. This has been foretold by Martek in the times of light. They will place 3 stones in the altar and recite their names. By finally uttering," I know it says Ray, it's actually Gorm. "By finally uttering Gorm, shall the 1001 doors be opened before them. Then will the test of their courage begin."
Okay. Lunara will take a rubbing of that, and for her scrapbook primarily, and also have read it out to the group as we go through. Okay,
Okay.
so we know what to do. So recite their names. I'm assuming that's the names of the Starstones. I guess we'll find out as we do it. Place 3 stones. Only 3.
It is intriguing that
can't-
there's only 3, yet we carry 5.
Hmm.
They're like redundancies in place.
Maybe. Maybe the 2 go elsewhere. It's like a several stage lock.
Is there any way to copy and paste that into text?
I put it in the Discord chat.
Oh, okay, I see it. Perfect.
It's in the lost
Yeah.
text, yeah. It will go in my I'll copy all of this into my campaign notes as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just faster than me typing it all out.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I've
but now you guys know the secret that it's not Gorm, it's Ray in this campaign, but I
Mm.
changed it.
Mhm.
So don't tell anyone.
yeah, I've really appreciated being able to copy and paste these like screen grabs into the notes. It's been quite useful. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I will keep doing that then for important. There's lots of like inscription stuff in this, so I will keep
Yeah.
doing that for that.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to see at the obelisk. As you guys are sort of investigating, pulling, you hear like the snap of a twig under someone's foot, and then kind of all goes quiet.
Definitely not one of the people trying to do steelies, because if it is, they're terrible at it. Do we want to talk to the Mad Dogs? Is that what we want to do?
So am I reading this right? Wait.
I think we have to say Gorm after we've said all the other names.
But is it me that has to say, it, or all of us?
I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
it's whoever
yeah.
whoever does the placement of the things. Regarding the people around us, Lunara would kind of bring Quoth back to her and then try and work out, assumingly we're being watched, try and work out where we're being watched from.
Yeah, you don't. They failed their stealth check. You see them sort of off in the distance. It's the two that Quoth saw earlier. They seem to have sort of skirted around. They seem to be quite interested in you, and you can see them sort of peering from the trees. They're not in the trees. They're on the ground down below. As I said, one is male, one is female. When they see that you see them, they stand up and their hands go to their weapons. They haven't drawn them, but they're definitely like ready to fight.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend that if I were you.
Magnus just like points at them, goes, "You two, come here," and he does like the walk forward hand signal and points to the ground in front of him.
Yeah, Lunara will make no aggressive move. Just kind of watch them curiously.
They exchange a look with each other, and without saying anything, they walk forward, and they come up and they speak with you. And the female says, "You're strangers in this land, and yet you are friends with the guildies."
Friends is a
We
stretch.
are at best friends with everyone. We have no reason to make enemies if we can
We have
avoid it.
more than enough of those where we come from.
We have made more than enough outside. That is true. Thank you for reminding me.
If you are friends with the guildies, you are not friends with the Palatine.
They stole from us. We're not particularly friendly with them. We are just not enemies. There is a neutral ground. Can you tell me more about the Palatine?
We are the Palatine. We are the protectors of this place. The guildies come and they steal everything.
I had
thieving
noticed.
rats.
I had noticed. They stole from us as well.
They have
You
no
know what
honor.
you protect.
We protect this village. We protect this place. We protect the Grandel.
What is it
Correct.
you protect it from?
Outsiders like yourselves.
And if an outsider showed up and wanted to open up the Grandel, you would.
If an outsider came and tried to open up the Grandel, that would be a most interesting situation indeed.
What
We would
if
have to prey on it.
what if the outsider had the keys to open the Grandel as per the prophecies?
You know of the prophecies?
Hard words.
You would have to have
5
the
keys?
Shine Stones.
Yes. Imagine if we did.
If you have the Shine Stones and the prophecy has come to pass, then the Palatine will aid you.
Sweet. See, they plan to do some kind of great theft, big heist type thing, when the gates are opened.
They cannot.
Yeah, I would prefer it if they didn't.
The weapon must stay safe
Agreed. We need
until
to
the
use
great
it.
heroes come and the prophecy is fulfilled.
We need to use that weapon to destroy the enemy of that prophecy.
Yes? You are the ones?
We are.
Big damn heroes, a lot of us. Except for
Yep.
that one. And I point away.
Hey, look, listen, how many times have I bailed you all out of trouble? Right? I think I deserve at least a thank you. I'm not even supposed to be here. I got sent off because the abbots thought it would be funny too.
Well, you've been
That's-
highly useful.
And that's why you have to survive to get back and show them your book. Make them choke on those smiles.
Yep.
You must come to our village.
Okay. I would be interested in seeing your village and hearing what your people have to say. Group.
Come with us now.
Okay.
And they turn and start walking away, assuming that you're going to follow.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather work with a bunch of paladins than with a bunch of
Yeah.
thieves, personally. I've worked with thieves before, they get you killed.
Okay, so you guys walk to another village that is, oddly enough, not that different from the Gilder village. It's built in a similar style, except at this time the people moving around it are all warriors. Everyone here moves with a really exceptional grace, and they seem to travel through the jungle quite easily, sort of slipping through the brush and maneuvering in ways that those of you not practiced in moving through the jungle find quite difficult. The village opens up into a large clearing. The one really substantial difference that you notice here is that there is a wood wall that goes all the way around the village, and it's one of those ones, I forget what they're called, where they're like,
Palisade?
yes, thank you, with the wooden poles with the spikes at the top.
Yeah, palisade. Pretty sure
Yeah.
it's a palisade.
So the palisade walls, thank you for the word, are about 10 feet tall, sharpened on top, and there is only one entrance into the village. You can see smoke rising out of the compound, and the underbrush has all been cleared away from the outside walls for about 50 feet to create sort of a clearing before entering the village proper. When you go inside with the two who have led you through, and because you're with them, you're permitted entrance. There are people on guard, you notice. There's some that are walking around the outside of the walls. There's also one person who is standing guard at the doorway. And when you head inside, the ground inside is a hard-packed dirt. You can see several wooden huts with woven mat roofs in the compound, much like you're looking at in the image here. And then there's a thin ledge that runs around the inside of the wall with ladders in each corner, with people standing sort of guard duty on that sort of elevated platform. And the woman says, "Come, we will introduce you to our leader." And she takes you to sort of the largest hut, where inside you are greeted by a man who is dressed in full plate armor. He has a really interesting symbol that is both engraved on his armor and as a holy symbol around his neck that is clearly the source of his paladin powers. Adriel, Gorm, you instantly feel drawn to this. This symbol is a lightning bolt, a sheaf of wheat, and a star that is all sort of fashioned together into one piece.
Oh.
And it seems as though these people worship 3 gods as one.
The Trinity.
I look at Usmagaris and the other one, I can't remember her name.
Madrara?
Darwa.
Yeah.
Maddie.
Maddie, yeah. They're kind of like looking at you as well. They've also sort of cottoned on to what's going on here, and they're kind of confused and excited and interested. And the man who is standing before you sort of he sort of stands up and he says, who have you brought before me? These are strangers. You didn't bring more guildies for stoning, did you? And the woman shakes her head and she says, Master, I think these people have come to fulfill the prophecy. And when she says that, you have his instant attention. His name, he says, "Greetings. I am Persevilius, known as Persevilius the Pure."
You know, Gorm's just gonna go for it. And he says, "You do not recognize us?" And I point to Usmagaris, Madara, and myself.
He looks at the 3 of you and says, "I am certain I have never seen you before. My mind is quick and I would recognize you."
In fairness, your snout is quite a bit shorter than that statue portrayed.
I'll do a little charge of lightning in my eyes.
You are a magic user, I see.
And I don't know, what is Usmagaris and Medora, how are they responding to this?
They kind of do the same thing. Like Usmagaris makes a star appear in her hand. Maduara holds her bow kind of in front of her, almost like Charlie's Angels posing, the 2 of them. You know what I mean? Doing that.
She like the Black Widow of the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems to have 0 effect on Persevilius. He says, "You're a magic user, the 2 of you. How interesting. We do not have many of them in our group."
Looking a little disappointed. Gorm will say, "You represent us on your chest."
You're on my chest? And he sort of looks down and starts touching his armor, and he says, "I do not understand your customs."
I look over at Usmagaris and Medora they're not that bright.
Yeah, that's kind of the look they're giving you back. Maduara just slings her bow back on her back. She's done with it. Usmagaris lets the star drop.
Okay.
Yeah, I give up.
We
Speak with me and we shall speak a prophecy.
sure.
And he invites you to sit. There are no sort of chairs here, but there are some sort of like cushions on the ground to sit upon. And he sits down cross-legged. For a big man wearing plate armor, he is he's quite capable of maneuvering, and he sits down cross-legged. It's a little odd to see, but there you have it. He's also got a great sword that he has hung on the wall of his home. It's very much a fighter's home, and you get the idea that the reason that there are cushions on the floor is because he can kick them to the side and like practice his fighting just in his home. And he says, I must ask, what do you know of the prophecy? Why do you think you are the ones?
We have spent our time collecting the last couple of months, collecting the Starstones.
You have found the Starstones.
A great calamity has befallen the outside world. Our people are in danger of being wiped out by it. So we have sought the Starstones. We know that they get us to the weapon. We need it to save our people. And by extension, probably save your people, because once he's finished with the outside world, he's probably going to come here if he can.
Well, I know that when evil was brought into Martik, the great Plantine Cedric brought the Palatine into the world above. We must always watch the Guilders to stop their stealies,
Mm-hmm.
and we must wait for the day when the doors of the Grandal open, and the Guilders will flee from the glory of Grandal, and all the good will be released from Grandal and pour forth across the universe.
So the Guilders are currently preparing to do their ritual to open, or well, get us to open the Grandal. They think they're going to perform some kind of massive heist. I would prefer it if they didn't.
They shall not be permitted.
Okay. I mean, we need, obviously, to get into the Grandal. We don't intend on stealing anything, taking anything apart from the weapon that we need.
If you can get into the Grendel, then you deserve to be there.
Good.
Come.
Good to hear that.
Let me show you something.
Okay.
And he stands up, and again, for a man wearing full plate armor, sitting cross-legged, he stands up with remarkable ease and grace.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Follow me."
Okay.
And he takes you outside of the village, and there's sort of like a path. And you go through this path, and it opens up to a hill, sort of in the jungle. And again, this area has been cleared away so that there are no trees. There is this open area revealing the hill and the hilltop. And he says to you, "The Mound of Lawgivers." And this hill is completely covered with small stones. And the first thing that you notice is that there is a tree trunk stuck in the ground at the very top of the hill. And there's a person tied to it. And the person is dressed in the guildy manner. The other thing that you notice is that a lot of these small stones that you're seeing on and around the hill are of a fairly uniform size. They're all kind of like the size that you could comfortably hold in a hand. Many of them are splattered in blood, in dried blood. And there are a lot of bones littering the field as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "See, we do honor to the gods, and we punish the guildies for their stealies. This one is
I'm
due to
not
be
sh-
punished tonight."
I don't understand how this honors the gods, but I'm not going to argue with your thing.
You are welcome
I
to come and
believe
honor them with us. You shall see.
I would prefer
And
not
he
to.
picks up a stone and he like offers it to you. Would you like to do it now?
No, I would not. I'm assuming like this evening is when or it seems like this evening is when the guildies are gonna do the ritual thing. Like they're preparing for it now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you don't have time for that this evening.
No, we shall do it earlier in the day then. You should stay
Okay.
and witness.
I would prefer not to.
I mean,
Why? Sorry, go ahead, Seb.
I was just so we're all there, right?
Yeah.
So, I would say this does not honor the gods.
Of course it does. We punish the stealies of the guildies.
We've never actually talked about this, but what is it? I can't think. Look at my
Alignment.
alignment is Gorm.
Honestly, I kind of think that's up to you.
Okay. Well, alignment is Usmagaris and Madara.
I think I would imagine that Usmagaris is a neutral god. Maduara is probably chaotic good. If I had to put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
I
feel
will
like
say
Gorm would be more
that
lawful because it's more like militant.
that's kind of what I
Yeah.
would personally lean to as well. These people are clearly lawful, but they seem to have perhaps twisted interpretations of what is good and right.
Okay. And so, when then I would say, and what gods do you speak of?
The Holy Three.
Which are?
Grunt, Ursine, and Maduara.
Huh.
Oh, they got one of them just about
I
right.
know. I look at Madara.
I
She
think
just like looks at you and she like elbows you and she's like, "Got me right."
Yeah.
All right,
At least
first
she's,
of
like,
all,
smug
all
and-
right, hold on a minute. How did you get the most difficult one to pronounce right?
Practice.
I do not understand. They are all correct.
His
They
name
are
is
our god.
4 letters. 4.
He is called the Great Grunt, for he grunts when he wields his weapon.
Oh,
I mean, it's better than being Grom, I guess. They could have got it wrong and called you Grom.
I
that
just
sounds a bloody
dropped my head.
bear. I've read books.
Oh, these people are clearly lost. They must be shown the way again.
I mean, centuries of isolation from, the canon that developed in the Undercity will do it to you.
I mean, hell, they
And
call it
Lunar will
healing.
just say, like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Personally, I find the punishment of people not something I'd like to see. I don't need to see that, thank you.
So I say first off, this symbol, and I point to Usmagaris. I said is a symbol of Usmagaris. This one is Madara, and this one is Gorm.
You are so close, and yet so far.
Oh my
Your
God.
people have been led astray.
I do that thing where I
You
pinch
see
the
what it's
bridge of
like
my
talking
nose.
to you, April? This is what it's like talking to you.
It is, yeah.
I'm like,
And he says, "We have been. It is our job to protect. It is our job to punish those who have done wrong.
Just, I don't think the punishment fits the crime. They did stealies, and yet you stone them to death.
You think fire is the better way. We do that too sometimes.
I
But
think the death
stoning
is
is
the problem
the
in that
usual option.
statement.
Hey, hold on a minute. All of you. Well, where was all this objection? We were talking about the Steely people. We were just first meeting them. Or a lot of you were talking about possibly, you know.
Because
I
they were
run my
trying to, like,
finger I run my finger across my
I
throat.
mean,
You
I
know.
was going to threaten violence because they'd stolen from us. I wasn't necessarily going to carry out violence. The threat of violence is the basis of any kind of she like Bunny quotes civilized society. Whether or not you carry out that violence indiscriminately is another question.
And there's
Yeah.
a difference between swift execution and death by stoning.
Yes, death by stoning ensures that they know that they are being punished.
Neat.
Yeah, they're still
Yes,
doing
I
it,
love it
mate.
here, guys. This place rocks.
Also with threatening to kill people just because they stole some trinkets from us. Now we're gonna have to watch somebody get stoned, death, or possibly be burned alive.
Perhaps we should just find out why we are here.
How about we just
Open
open the
Grandel, I think.
yeah? How about we just open the bloody Grandel and be rid of this place?
I would be in favor of that.
Right? No more
We
thoughts of
do not have
genocide.
time for. Yeah, I do kind of say to the guy, we do not have time for that kind of business. We've got to prepare to get the weapon. Like, any moment we waste is potentially a moment we lose.
Yes, my true followers are in danger.
You're right, the prophecy. We must make sure that the prophecy succeeds.
Yeah.
I shall get men together, and when the Grandel is opened, we shall ensure that the guildies do not come in and try to do the stealies.
That'd be appreciated. Just keep them busy.
Yes, we
Don't
shall
have to
capture them
stone
all.
them. No. Don't just keep
See,
them
'cause-
away. You don't
Yeah,
have to.
giving them confusing. You're giving them. You see what you're doing. You're giving them confusing thoughts.
I know. Any thoughts are confusing at this point by the looks of it.
I don't understand what you're saying.
What we want you to
Nara,
do
I hate
is
to
keep
say
them
this,
busy.
but I think what we have to, just accept at this point is that we
Or just
can't
let them
save
do what they
all
do.
of them.
Yeah. Fair. Okay, well, disregard it. Do what you got to do. Just keep them out of our way.
Very well.
Hey, hold on a minute. How about we come to a compromise where you don't physically harm them?
You think that's possible?
Anything's possible. I'm here. And who am I? I'm an urchin.
These guys have been doing this song and dance for 1,000 years. I don't think they know anything else. I don't think they have any other program in their head other than throw stone, eat hot chip, and lie.
I have to at least try.
Yeah, and I admire you for trying, my dude.
I mean, there would be no true like glory in defeating a bunch of, thieves and urchins while wielding proper weaponry and armor. It should be classic fisticuffs rules, I think.
You wish us to strip off our armor?
If
Fight
you
the
want to
guildies.
show the gods your true worth.
Yeah, show them how
bathe in their
good you
glory.
are. Yeah, anyone can kill an unarmed person if they've got a sword.
Guildies are not unarmed.
They
have-
may as well be. They're armed in being steely. They're not real warriors, but you are.
Look, how about this? How about we try to convince, or rather me, since you lot are content on throwing the other one to the dogs. How about we try to convince both sides to just settle their differences for 3 bloody hours? How about
That's
that?
not going to happen, dude.
Tried to
Like,
convince
For
you.
3
You just-
bloody hours. This
I
is an
convinced
this is an
I-
unprecedented event. Both of you know what's going. The heroes are here to liberate the Grandal. Hell, that blood. We're gonna open the bloody doors. How about everyone just watch in awe, and then afterwards, when we leave, and the doors are closed, the both of you can go back to settling. You can go back to beefing with each other. For 3 hours. That's all I ask.
Let's get a persuasion roll, please.
All right, not great at those. 15.
He looks at you and says,
All right, you know Herties, they know Steelies. How about that?
if they agree to no steelies, we shall agree not harm them.
No Herties. Good.
think
Done.
I don't think they're going to agree to no steamies. This is their prophecy they've been building up for forever for.
This is
You
everyone's
saw how
prophecy.
excited they
Doesn't
were.
hurt to
Yes.
try. We'll give it a go. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work,
Okay, we can give
I'm
it a
not
try.
going to let these people tear each other apart for our amusement.
Oh, that wasn't going to be for my amusement. It was just going to happen either way.
And we go back to the Steelies, and I need my bloody
Yeah.
diamond back anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry.
All right.
Find a
you
D&D
guys
equivalent of
need
a Snickers
to-
for you.
And don't stow them.
You guys leave the Palatine village and head back to speak with the guildies. At this point, they're looking for you. And when you return, they say, "Ah, what a relief! We thought you had gone missing. We have lost one of our people yesterday, and we thought perhaps you had been lost also. The mad dogs had got you. We're glad to see you are free and safe."
This is the leader, the village leader speaking to us.
Yes, sorry. Yes, it is.
Listen, I've got a proposition for you lot.
Speak and we shall listen.
Right. Perhaps we should do this.
Oh, I think you cut out. I heard
I don't know
perhaps
why
we
it's-
should do.
Perhaps we should do this at the feast, where everyone's there,
Indeed.
and you're the
it's worth
village
talking to
leader.
them. I think it's worth talking to him before any of this, just to gauge what he says.
I'm going to tell him what we're going to do.
Sure.
A
All right.
truce. A ceasefire. Wait, no, the guns weren't ready.
We are not fighting with you. You are
No.
our guest.
A truce with the mad dogs. Until at least me out. You know, mad.
You're cutting out, dude.
Sure. Why am I cutting out? I think it's because of my fan.
Oh, maybe.
Alright, I'm just gonna turn off the noise suppressor for now. At least for the next 3 hours, at least until we finish getting what we need from the Grandal, and no taking anything from the Grandal. Please, I beg you, just for this one moment. The Mad Dogs have agreed. No Steelies, they know Herties.
You got the mad dogs to agree.
Yes.
They will not harm us at
They-
the opening of the Grandal.
If you don't Steelies, they know Herties. If they Herties, I Herties them. If you Steelies, I Hertie yous. Understand?
Oh, we are not the ones who do the steelies. You will be the ones doing the steelies.
So you're just going to just watch us do the Steelies. That's it, right? An audience?
Persuasion roll, please. You may have advantage on this.
Oh boy. Can I get a guidance, or you gonna let me?
I
Do it
mean,
to myself.
I would give you guidance if I can.
All right. Whew, here we go.
Oh, and you got this.
14. Oh, thank God for the
Ooh, okay.
advantage.
Plus guidance, or is that?
Yep, plus guidance.
Oh, did Chris say it?
Yeah.
Okay. 17.
He says, If you have convinced the mad dogs, we will help you open the doors, and we shall watch you perform the greatest of all Steelies, fulfilling the prophecy and allowing us to meet our god. I agree.
I throw my hands in the air. That's all I wanted to hear. Do you shake hands here?
No.
Good.
That would make it so easy for you to do the Steelies on me. Do you think I am a fool?
Right. What's happening? Well, I'll clap for you.
What was what, sorry?
I'll clap for you. We
He
clap.
claps back, looking a little puzzled.
Very good. Very good. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful day.
Well,
Nice
great.
and
I mean, that's a bunch less people who are going to die today. I like that. Good job, Way.
pays not to be the cynic.
Okay, and so with that, you guys head off to the feast. The feast is oh, hi Milo. Sorry. The feast is quite grand. There are pretty much everyone in the village comes. You'd guess there's somewhere between 50 and 70 people. It's not a huge village. Also probably explains why a lot of people look the same or similar in appearance. The feast is actually quite good. It's full of like things from the jungle. So there are probably some meats that you've never had the opportunity to try before. There's also sort of like I don't know enough about jungles to say what kind of like vegetables or fruit or whatever would be within it. But everything obviously is from the jungle here. They don't grow a lot of their own stuff. It seems as though they are mostly hunter foragers, and so the food they put before you is what they have managed to find in the jungle. It is delicious. It's well cooked. Everyone is talking and laughing, and there's a big celebration. At one point in the evening, at the sort of beginning of the meal before you begin eating, there's like the official welcome, and the leader of the village says, I am pleased to announce that the 4 people before us today are going to complete the prophecy. They will open the doors, the light will shine, and the great Steely will begin. And he also announces at that same time, I will warn you all now, the mad dogs will come. The great 4 have promised that the mad dogs shall not attack us. We must be careful. We may not do any steelies while the mad dogs are here. The mad dogs will not do the heartsies on us. When the time is up, we may recommence our steelies, and we shall take down the mad dogs. But until that time, I urge you to allow the prophecy to fulfill itself. And there's a great cheer that goes up from everyone, and he beams at the group of you and says, now is time to eat and celebrate. And, there's people playing music, there's some dancing that happens after the meal, there's fires that are lit. It's a very pleasant evening. Everyone's in great spirits, everyone's very excited about what tomorrow is going to bring. Yeah, it's a really good time. Is there anything that any of you would like to do during the feast, or would you like us to sort of move forward to the next day?
I want to.
Oi, Sarduk.
Yes.
I reach my hand out.
He says, oh, I have it.
All right, I'll take it.
He doesn't give it to you.
Do you want me to take it from you?
He says, oh, look, there's an interesting bird in that tree.
I lock eyes with him.
Turns around to look at this tree, revealing a giant diamond in his back pocket.
All right, all right, all right. I'll take it. I'll put the sapphire. I'll turn around myself, but I have the sapphire sort of like loosely palm hand, and I say, "Oh, look, beautiful woman."
he he obviously he nabs the sapphire and he grins at you and he says, "I do not think the guildmaster would be particularly pleased with our steelies, but I am glad that you have something that will help you on your journey."
Yes,
Can you give me a sleight of hand check?
sure. 16.
He says, "You are not bad at the steelies."
I better not be. I used to be one. I used to do it a lot.
You are one of us. I knew it.
I. The key word is used to, not anymore.
Once a guildie, always a guildie. He says, "Look, everyone, he's a guildie."
Oh boy.
And throughout the night, you guys do find that articles go missing. Although it does seem that the people are being careful to steal things that would not impact your ability to succeed in the upcoming challenges, shall we say. So things like a single gold coin goes missing. They don't really take anything more than that. Maybe a piece of paper or a piece of charcoal, something like that. You kind of get the idea that a lot of people just want to say that they have stolen from you. So you're kind of on your toes all night, unless you allow it. So I guess, do you allow it, or do you kind of stop it, or where do you fall in that?
It almost seems like a little game that they play, so I allow it. I'm I don't know. Gorm is like, these are not Gorm followers. These are not my people. But
He doesn't give a shit.
yeah, he's just going along with it.
Yeah, Lunara would very distinctly not allow taking her stuff. She would be keeping an eye with Quoth and kind of scaring people away as best she can.
Okay.
I guess I would keep an eye out, and maybe I might slap a hand if I do notice one, but I don't worry about it.
Not prickly about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the two of you then, the reaction of the guildies is it's good. They seem to appreciate having to work for it. If that makes sense. They don't want an easy steal. They want to work for it, and when someone gets caught, there's a lot of like laughter and joking that happens, and the person hangs their head in shame and walks away, and so it's weirdly all in good fun.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Magnus and Wei, what about you guys? Sorry, go ahead, Magnus.
I think Magnus is kind of keeping an eye on everything that's happening, and he'll prevent that he sees. And he's part of like the whole joking, like, haha, I caught you, not a big deal. Except for anybody who goes for the medallion or his smokes. Those ones, he's deadly serious. He grabs their hand and he goes, not that.
Awesome. Somehow that means that your smokes become the most coveted item.
That's what I figured would happen.
At the table. So you do have a lot of people attempting to steal those. I'm just gonna do like a little roll here to see how well they do. Oh, you're able to catch most of them. And you only end up being down about 2 cigarettes.
He definitely sees somebody smoking one like across the hall, and he just does the 2 fingers to his eyes and points at them.
I would like
when
it
you
if-
do that, suddenly like the person doesn't have a cigarette in their hand anymore. Although you can see a little bit of like smoke rising from their sleeve.
I'd
And
like
they
it
just like
if,
walk innocently away.
If like Lunara spots one and just kind of gets Quoth to kind of just go and steal it out of their grasp, sort of thing, just like fly by and just take it off them.
Fly by and grab it. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you get that one back, Magnus. So you're only down 1.
Acceptable losses.
Nice. Wait, what about you?
Oh, Way's go first. I want to retire to my if I have a room. If we have rooms,
Or, yeah, I would imagine they would hook you up with like a hut.
uh, in my hut, I'm just going to finish reading the uh the mythical book, the mythical volume,
Mhm.
and outside or like just by the doorway, which I assume there aren't like really doorways. I'll put up a
Um,
sign and say my belongings, and I'll just lay out a couple of items. Take.
Nothing goes missing.
Yeah, I will couple pieces of chalk, couple of my candles, couple arrows.
Nothing goes missing. You leave it out in the open, no one touches it.
Yeah, I know their type. I run at the circles back in the city.
Okay, and anything anyone wants to do that night? Alrighty, so we will fast forward then to the next morning. When you wake up, it is a hot summer's day. There's a little bit of rain that falls from the sky, but it clears up pretty quickly. And there is sort of some people feeling the after effects of last night's revels, but most people are sort of excited about today. There's food cooking. If anyone wants to grab breakfast, please make sure your characters are long rested if you haven't done so already. And they basically tell you they are ready when you are to go to the dais of reception.
Sure.
Yeah, anything they need to do.
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you guys get to the dais, with the guildies, the Palatines or the Mad Dogs are already there, assembled, waiting. Tense is a generous word to use. There's a lot of hostility. There's a lot of years of hostility with between these two groups, and so things are very, very tense between them. But the leader of the Palatines, Percivilius, comes up along with the leader of the guildies, and they each take one of the strikers for the gong, and they stand near each other and they give each other kind of like a nod, but it's less a nod of recognition and more of a I'm not killing you right now, but I will later kind of deal.
Mhm.
And you guys are invited up onto the dais, and I'll just remind you what it looks like here. Let me read that thing. It's a hexagonal platform nearly 600 feet wide with 6 white marble pillars that rise high overhead towards the opalescent dome that sort of surrounds this whole magical area. And I don't just mean the dais, I mean it actually encompasses the jungle and everything, Hunger Games style. Hanging from the pillars, a gigantic gong sits between two of them, and then you can see the jungle off behind you. And then there are stairs that lead upwards towards nothing. And the two of them start speaking ancient Sinadacian and basically say one sounds like a prayer to the god Mask. Those of you who have a religious background would recognize it as being sort of an older or a bastardized version of a prayer to Mask that is used today. And then there is also a prayer to the three gods. Gorm, you don't recognize it at all. It's so changed.
Distorted.
Yeah, and you don't feel that, you don't hear that one in your head. It's weird because like you hear that one with your ears and you don't hear it in your mind, and it doesn't seem as though these people are true worshippers of you.
Oh yeah, I don't. These are not my people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gorm.
Yeah, so you don't hear their prayers, even though they're using, I would say, your name, but they call you Grunt.
Yeah.
So, and at the end of the prayers, they each ring the gong, and when they do, there is all of a sudden a massive building appears. Light and flame fill the area, and you see a the sides of the hall that you can see are there's sort of like a corridor going up to the main building, and the walls of the building and the corridor is made of, they call it glass steel. And it's, I don't know if it's a material that your characters would have seen, but Lunara, it's one that you have heard about in the history books. People today don't know how to make it, but it's basically glass that is as hard as steel.
Oh.
And all along this corridor, there are what looks to be 1,001 doors, and they are blocking the light from much of the glass steel, preventing you from seeing inside the corridor. There is a set of golden doors that lead into the corridor, and in front of those golden doors, there is like a small, I guess altar is probably the best word to use.
Okay.
And when the gong is run and the building appears, everyone's sort of like, and it's impressive. Everyone seems to have seen it before. This doesn't seem to be the first time they've seen it, and it certainly matches up with what you've been told about the doors opening.
Okay. So there's an altar before the doors, you say?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll kind of walk up to the altar
Okay.
and grab go into the bag and get out the star gems. Just get out 3 of the ran. It was 3 of them.
Yes, there's,
Well,
and
of
you,
them.
so when you get up to this altar, you look at it, there are 3 sort of, they would be oddly shaped holes if you didn't know what they were for, but they quite clearly fit the star gems.
Yeah,
There are
hemispherical.
words sort of around them that are sort of, when the star gems are placed, the prophecy shall be revealed and all that kind of stuff.
I think I have 2
Okay.
of them though, don't I?
We split them.
Yeah,
We split them out,
yeah.
yeah. I can't remember how we
Okay.
split them out, but I think I have a few of them in my bag of holding, but
111.
that's right.
112, because Magnus refuses to touch one.
I will
Yeah.
not carry one of those things. I don't want to get sucked into it.
Fair. Okay, so I'll just kind of get some of the star gems from people, and then I no real preference on which one's which, but I'll just kind of put 3 on the thing.
I mean, I
And
hold on mine. I do my own.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, we'll put 3 on there and recite their names. So I don't have their names to hand, but obviously
Yeah, no
Lunara knows
problem.
their names.
Yes. So as you both place the star gems in and you say the names, the star gems sort of like flash, and there's kind of a moment, and then when you say the name, they begin to glow with a soft light. And you place all 3 in. I'm gonna invite you to read that what you had on the.
So we place them all and then say Gorm as a final.
Okay, so when you say Gorm, it begins to glow really strongly, and when you say Gorm, the glowing stops, and the 2 golden doors before you open, along with all the doors on the side of the corridor, the glass steel doors opens, and the whole building is sort of bathed in this like glowing blue fire, except the space where the two golden doors are that have opened that allow you entrance into it. And when those doors open, both sides, the guildies and the palatines, just start cheering wildly, screaming, the prophecy, they are the ones of the prophecy is coming true. And they're just giddy.
Does it seem like the star gems are stuck there now? Does it seem like I could take them away and put them back in the bag? Do they need to be there to keep the door open?
They do not seem to need to be there. You can pull them out.
I will pick them back up again.
Okay, you pick them out, and the building stays where it is, and the doors stay open.
Okay, I'll return the star gems to who they are, and then I guess say to the kind of start walking up towards the thing and turn back to the crowd and say, remember your agreement. No fighting until this is all done.
Again, more cheering, more hollowing. Everyone seems just, excited and thrilled, and they're barely listening to you.
Yeah, understandable. I look at the group and kind of point towards the entrance, kind of gesture towards the entrance. It's like, shall we then?
I'm already walking towards it.
Say,
Hey, then yeah, let's go inside.
Okay, cool. Bear with me a second. Oops. Okay, oh, for Pete's sake, sorry. There we go. Oh, it would help if your characters were on the map, huh? Adriel, Magnus, Lunara, Way, and Quoth.
The dynamic lighting doesn't seem to be on at the moment, for me at least. Like, I can see all the way through this room.
I can see it all too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, darn it. Oh, I had turned it on.
There we go.
There we go. Thanks, guys. Well, I mean, it's not a big map. I don't think it revealed a ton, but
Yeah. I'll try. I just will not mention what I saw.
yes, nothing.
I'm hoping this tablet will be able to cope with a D&D map. So I guess
If
we'll
it
find out now.
doesn't, this is not a huge. It's not a huge deal if you see further into the room.
Sure.
Can everyone see? Okay, everything's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. When I changed dynamic lighting, everything just kind of went dark on my end. And I was like, oh god. All right. So, as you
I'm
walk,
not sure. Oh no, sorry, no, sorry. I think this is my character sheet. Sorry, just checking.
Okay. So this, where you are right now, is actually the end of the corridor. So I'm just going to describe to you what you walk through. So the sides of this hall are made of this strange glass steel. There's a blue fire that burns brightly on the outside of the building that illuminates the whole hallway, and you're basically walking through this glass hallway. Because all the doors have been opened, you can sort of see out, and it's really spectacular. It is an extremely long hall, 3 miles long, and has 1,001 doors. Because you have activated the altar, the whole thing is open. But they don't go anywhere. They basically like open the windows kind of idea, so that you can see out, but there's no exit. And you have to walk all the way down to the end of the hall, where finally you see another set of closed golden double doors that are 30 feet wide by 100 feet tall. The doors have ornately carved glowing runes cut into them, and then there are 2 10-foot wide arched corridors that lead off to the east and west. And there is writing on the doors.
Okay.
And
Right.
I will put it again in Discord, and I will read it to you. I'm assuming, Lunar, you're gonna
Yes.
this?
Translate for wait.
Survey. My monument to Phoenix, good friend and true, stands to watch over the way to the gate of my tomb. Walk that path straight and narrow, do not waver or falter, and your chance will be given to come to my altar.
Right, in for a penny. Love, give me a hand with this. Love to Magnus.
Yep. I will give you a hand opening the door, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, it's heavy, but well oiled and swings open easily and without trouble when you push it. Sorry, I think that was on the wrong layer. And you are looking into this absolutely massive room. There are these pits of fire down below that are crackling and burning, and you can't tell how far down these pits go because the fire is just raging upwards. There are more doors in the sides of the hallway that reveal that blue fire that is around the entire building. And then at the center of the room, there's these two paths that cross with this large central area at the very middle. Lights and flame fill the octagonal room ahead. Polished black glass steel reflects the flames into seeming eternity. Jets of fire soar 100 feet above you into the domed ceiling from 4 deep pits. There are golden double doors in this. That doesn't matter. I guess it does. The golden double doors are here. Sorry, those are the ones that are closed. I've clearly done this badly. There we go. Closed. That in the center of the opposite wall, 110 feet away, with 2 single doors at either end. There are similar doors arranged all around it.
Yeah, I think they're all open. By the looks of my
Yes, they're
sight at the
supposed to
moment.
be. Those are the
Okay.
glass steel ones letting you see
Okay.
the stuff
The-
outside.
yeah.
The pits are shaped to form a platform in front of each set of doors. Pathways lead from each of them to the center. Hanging from the ceiling is a black frame that sits like a tent over the central platform. A stately iron phoenix sits on the frame, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the dude that you saw here.
Sure.
It would help if I could move him here. So he's sort of sitting right there. This phoenix is made of metal. I actually have a really cool picture of him that I meant to put in and clearly didn't.
Still cool looking.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so I'll bring in the full picture of him in
Yeah,
just
sure.
a second. I'm just uploading that now. But yeah, that's kind of what you guys see as you enter this room.
Path straight and narrow. So
Yeah.
that would suggest go straight ahead.
Yep, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you walk straight ahead up into, there we go.
Oh wow.
That's what the Phoenix looked like sitting on this platform. Obviously it's indoors, but that was the coolest picture I found, so I used
Yeah,
it.
it's really cool.
Yeah. Shame it had to be AI, but still very pretty.
I don't know. Yeah, so as you guys start to move forward, the Phoenix cocks its head to watch you as you start to move. It kind of turns its eye. You know how birds like turn their head sideways so they can see you with their eye? That's what happens.
Mine's looking at me with his side eye right now.
Don't
Yeah, I
mind
guess-
us. Don't mind us. Just moving through.
Yep.
Excuse
Okay.
me.
You
Sure.
continue to approach.
Yep.
And Way, when you get to the center, the great phoenix spreads its clockwork wings, and this is where we are going to save game.
Ooh.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I know I have to
we're
leave a
not
little
doing
bit
2
early
hours.
today because
Okay.
I'm volunteering.
Okay.
Sorry, I did put that in the Discord. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was I just mentioned yesterday I had to leave a little bit early because I'm doing
Oh.
a bike rodeo today.
I just saw confirming game and I'm like, all right, good.
Too long didn't read.
Okay, yeah. So we'll save game here. Is everyone good for next Saturday, which is the 20th?
Yeah.
Should be good.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in North Bay for the golf tournament.
Oh, okay. North Bay.
Yes. I'm going to
Sorry,
North
that's-
Bay for Adams Memorial Golf Game.
Oh,
that's
yes, I remember you
right.
saying, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for representing us there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So yeah, I will not be available this Saturday coming up, and the next one I won't be here for is the 10th. I have my motorcycle course.
I think we had the 20th, well, I've taken the 20th out of my calendar
Off the
already. I
game,
think we
that's
discussed
right,
that
yeah.
before, yeah.
I am doing a guard shift on the 27th.
Okay.
It's a night shift. So unless things change drastically, I will play that day. And what I'll do is I'll get up, I'll play with you guys, and then I'll like try and have a nap in the afternoon because I'm doing a night shift that night. So I think I should be good to play, but if something happens and I'm like exhausted, I'll message you guys on the Friday and just be like,
see how you feel. Like, take care of
Yeah.
yourself first. Like, D&D can wait. As much as I'm enjoying it,
finding
take
that
care of
if I
yourself
do a
first.
night shift, it's actually better if I nap. So it's better if I get up
Okay.
early and then have like just an hour nap in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try that again. It worked really well for me last time.
Okay.
So I do anticipate playing that day.
Okay. Should be good for the... What date was that? So 27th. Yeah, that should be okay. I'll double check, but I don't think I've got anything then.
Alrighty, well, I have to get going. So
Okay.
thank you guys all for playing. Good game today.
thanks for the
Chris,
Yeah, thanks for the game.
Chris, please pass on, regards to Adam's family and
Yes,
all the love and
from all of us, I'd hope.
Will do,
Yeah.
of course.
and have a really good time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, bye, everyone.
All
Bye,
right,
take
bye,
care.
everyone. Talk to you later.
Anyone who's watching, thanks for watching and join us. I thought the 27th for our next game. Have a good day.